Hello, everyone. This is the Insert Title Show, and I am your host, Wolf Strife. On this episode, me and Mr. Oompy are going to be talking about Assassin's Creed because today is its 10th anniversary. Basically, how this came about is, I guess about 2 weeks ago, I was at Barnes & Noble looking around, as I normally do, and I came across this big-ass Assassin's Creed book. It was like, I guess, an art book. I think it was called the Complete Visual History of Assassin's Creed, and I was just flipping through it. It was on sale for like $20, but I mean, this is a really, really big and nice book. So I was just flipping through it. Yeah, I was looking at Assassin's Creed 1 artwork. That was kind of cool and stuff. And then when I got to Assassin's Creed 4, they had a picture of Anne Bonny with her awesome cleavage. So I was like, you know what? I am going to buy this book. So I took it home, went through it, and had a pretty good time looking through it. And just by chance, I went on Wikipedia and saw that the very first Assassin's Creed game came out on November 13th, 2007. I was like, holy fucking shit. I was totally shocked by that. Hell, the crazy thing, too, is that came out exactly 1 week before Mass Effect 1 did. So I was like, whoa, I had no idea the Assassin's Creed series was 10 years old. So that was a pretty big surprise. And to kind of think about how big this series is, I mean, that's pretty crazy. It's only been around 10 years. I mean, it's one of the highest selling series in video game history. So that's pretty impressive. And what a hell of a gaming year 2007 was. I mean, you had Assassin's Creed come out. You had my fifth favorite video game of all time, Mass Effect, come out. And a couple of months before that, you had my favorite multiplayer game come out, Halo 3. So, yeah, 2007 was a pretty good gaming year, I guess. Can't really think of too many other games that came out that year, but those games right there are pretty good. Oh, yeah, you had Call of Duty 4 for crying out loud. So, yeah, that was a pretty crazy time back in the day. But basically, the reason why I have Mr. Oompy here is because he's gone through most of the Assassin's Creed games. And in fact, he went through most of them before I did. Basically, I was kind of a late comer to him. Basically, because I hate these games a good bit of the time. And yeah, basically, how I first played Assassin's Creed was Chili bought Assassin's Creed 1, and he brought it over to my house. And I think he got about halfway through it. And he really liked it at first because, you know, you got a guy in a hood. There's a lot of parkour stuff going on and shit. But after a while, he really started to hate it. So he wanted me to try it out. And I wasn't too excited about it because I hate assassins, you know, one thing. Hell, I used to hunt them on Oblivion, the Dark Brotherhood or whatever. I mean, I just really hate assassins. I think they're cowards and shit. So I wasn't too excited to play this. And so when you start off, it's not that good of a beginning. The cutscenes are kind of retardedly done. And the gameplay is kind of silly. Like the very first time you actually jump into a haystack is the most retarded thing I've ever seen in my life. Did you ever play Assassin's Creed 1, Oompy?
Unfortunately, I never made it through it. I started it, and then I believe my disc got broke. So I never actually went through it. You know, 360s have a bad habit of chewing up discs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember those days. Jesus. I think my second Xbox 360 destroyed 5 games. So, yeah, good old days. Yeah, I didn't get too far the first time I checked it out. I think I really just finished off the Messiah parts, which was like that first Assassin's Creed area. And I just didn't like it. I thought the whole assassins angle was kind of I don't like playing as assassins. And the just the whole jumping into the haystack thing was just so retarded because when you do your first, what do they call it? Leap of faith?
Yep.
When you do that, you hit the haystack. And, well, basically what happens in the game is you and a group of assassins do like a group jump, trying to make the Templars think that you're committing suicide for the cause or whatever. And so when you get out of your haystack, there's an assassin on the ground next to you who I guess missed his haystack. And he's just got like one broken leg. I'm like, dude, you just jumped like 90 fucking feet. You're not going to have just a broken leg. So that just kind of killed the reality for me and stuff. So I actually stopped playing the game, but came back to it about 6 months later, and I was like, all right, fuck it. I'm going to go through this, but I'm going to use achievements.com, and I'm going to get every fucking achievement in this fucking game that I can. So basically, I went through the game, got almost all of the achievements. There were just some of the flag collecting achievements I just crapped out on. I was like, okay, I'm done with this game. I'm not going to run around trying to find all these stupid things. But I did get through the game, and it turned out to be okay. Um, the main character, Altair, was kind of a dick. I guess he was kind of supposed to be. He was like this really cocky guy in the beginning, and he was breaking all of the creeds basically by killing innocents and shit. And he just wasn't a likable guy, but as you go through the game, he becomes more experienced and more humble. And talking to his master Al Malim, there's a lot of good philosophical debates and questions like good and evil, and are our enemies really evil, like the Templars? Are they really bad guys, or are they just trying to do what they think is right? And just a lot of stuff like that. So it turned out to be an okay game. Basically, the cutscenes in the game, though, were just, ugh. Well, I guess what they were going for, because you know how the Animus works, basically, they sit you down in this chair and it taps into your DNA to check out your ancestors and basically your DNA's memory of your ancestors, which is kind of an interesting idea, but
It's a lot better than Ancestry.com spit tube.
yes, probably. Um, and so basically, what happens there is you get to almost play a video game of your ancestors' life.
No, you live it.
Yeah, you like relive it, I guess. But I don't know. It kind of seemed like Desmond, who's I guess, the main character reliving his ancestors' life, I guess. It kind of seems like maybe he has some control over Altair.
Well, if you look at it as a historical, from a historical point of view, things can't really change
Yeah, so basically you just have to reenact it.
in a sense.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, you just are reenacting what happened. And if you veer from that, you get in trouble, basically. Yeah.
You start to
Desynchronize.
yeah.
And so that it's kind of interesting because almost makes it a video game within a video game, sort of. And then maybe that's what they were going for with the cutscenes. Like the way the cutscenes were shot is basically it's kind of like you're supposed to be a fly on the wall watching all
Well,
this shit.
well, that's an interesting point that you brought up, a video game within a video game, because jumping ahead to Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag, it would be Abstergo Entertainment
Uh huh.
making a video game within our video game.
Because Desmond is dead by that point, so they can't.
Yes.
Yeah, they can't go back through there. So basically, yeah, it is a video game within a video game, sort of. But yeah, the way the cutscenes were done was basically they have it that you're looking from like a far away distance, and I guess it's supposed to be like you're a fly on the wall, which is kind of weird, and it doesn't really work. I guess I see what they're going for, but it just totally took me out of the game. So right away, I hated all the science fiction Desmond shit. And so that's kind of set the tone for the rest of the series. I just always kind of hated that side of the series. But the parts of the games that I really enjoyed were the historical parts, like being able to run around Jerusalem in 1191. That was really fucking cool. Like, I mean, I'm climbing the Dome of the Rock and shit like that. And probably my favorite city in the game to run around was in Acre. I just really liked the look of the city. And for some weird reason, they kind of what's the word, Impy, when you take...
Saturized.
Yeah, they desaturated the level for whatever reason. So it kind of had this cool medieval gothic kind of cold look to it. So it was pretty cool running around that curve. But yeah, Assassin's Creed 1 was, yeah, it was okay. In fact, I went through some of it a couple of months ago when it went on sale for like $5. because Chili actually gave me his hard copy of it, but I ended up selling it in the big ass sell off of 2011. Basically, what happened in 2011, I needed money for Battlefield 3 and Halo Anniversary. So I sold like a duffel bag full of games. I guess it was like 35 games I sold for like $120. So I sold Chili's copy and basically was like, all right, I'm never playing Assassin's Creed again, but it went on sale a couple of months ago. So I bought it mainly to get those last 3 remaining achievements. Basically, I had to get all the flags in Damascus, Jerusalem, and the kingdom. And after many hours, I was finally able to do it. So I have all of the achievements on Assassin's Creed 1. Fuck. That was not fun. But thankfully, I'm a much more experienced gamer now when it comes to collecting, so it wasn't as bad as it was back in like 2010 when I was trying to do those achievements originally. But yeah, Assassin's Creed 1 is okay, but
It could have been better.
yeah. Well, that's where Assassin's Creed 2 comes in.
Yep, that's where they took that proof of concept and actually ran with it.
Yeah. Well, basically, you have to remember too is the Assassin's Creed series basically came out of Ubisoft's earlier series, the Prince of Persia series.
Going off of that, the Prince of Persia series, Assassin's Creed 1 was actually supposed to be called Prince of Persia Assassins, but as they developed it, it became its own entity to the point where they took it and made it its own game.
Yeah, because they didn't want to have a Prince of Persia game without the prince as the main character.
Right. And, well, that's where they kind of drew that line because they took the prince and made it into something else.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want the prince to be an assassin.
Yeah. And those Prince of Persia games were pretty damn good. I only went through Sands of Time, and I liked it a lot. Basically, the puzzles were really good in it, but the combat was kind of eh. But then the sequels, they made the combat a lot better, so I definitely wanted to go through those, but I just never got around to. So, yeah, I kind of wish I could go back and play the Prince of Persia games, but oh well. I guess I got the Assassin's Creed games to play, oh joy. But yeah, Assassin's Creed 2, man, it's widely considered to be the best Assassin's Creed game. I guess because, you know, it's just everything they did wrong in Assassin's Creed, they did right in Assassin's Creed 2. They got regular cinematic looking cutscenes, all those were good. They got a likable protagonist in Ezio. What was his full name? Ezio Auditore de Firenze, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, Ezio was a damn good protagonist. He was just a funny, likable guy, and, you know.
Well, in the beginning, I mean, they drew you and made you feel for that character because of his family. When things went down, I mean, things went down.
Yeah, big time. Basically, all the men in his family were killed, except for himself, and I guess his mother and his sister were the only other survivors, so yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think Ubisoft made like a movie detailing it was like a prologue to Assassin's Creed 2. It was like dealing with his father and Rodrigo Borgia, who was the villain and stuff. So I never got to watch that, but I might check it out one day. But yeah, Assassin's Creed 2 was just fun, good story, good characters. You get to go to some pretty cool places like Florence, Venice. Remember any other places?
Not really, to be honest. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while since we played it.
When did you first play Assassin's Creed 2?
It was after you, because I got through Assassin's Creed 1 and was like, I'm done with this series. But oh, you know what it was? It was when it was the free game of the month. That must have been
game of the month.
Yeah, that must have been like 2012, 2013, I guess.
That's actually when I played Assassin's Creed 2, and I think I'm the one who drew you in for that. I was like, dude, look what's on sale.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I think the only person we knew who went through it before was Poot, maybe. And I think he actually got all of the achievements on that one. That's what kind of spurred me to get all of the achievements on it. I was like, all right, if Poot can do it, I can do it. So, yeah, the achievements weren't too bad in that one compared to the first one. Ugh. Well, the first one took me 7 years to get all of the achievements, so, yeah. But yeah, I mean, the levels were cool and fun. Like, my favorite level, I think, in Assassin's Creed 2 was the Masquerade Ball. You remember that one?
Yep, I remember that. That was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, that was really cool. Ezio had a pretty cool mask and shit. And hanging out with Leonardo da Vinci was fun.
Oh, my favorite cutscene would when the finger chop.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was fun.
And he was the one that gave us the double hidden blades, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Leonardo was awesome. Oh, and he's the one that put a gun in there too and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
he did everything, and then the glider, the what else was there? There was the glider. There
I
was
think there was just the glider in the second one, and then in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, that's when we really got to mess with some Leonardo shit.
yeah.
So yeah, basically Assassin's Creed 2, I guess it's still my favorite one. And my second favorite Assassin's Creed game is the next one, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. I just really liked Assassin's Creed Brotherhood mainly just for it being a fun game. You have a pretty good villain, Cesare Borgia, and running around Rome is fucking cool. Like, I mean, you can climb the Colosseum. You can kind of climb around St. Peter's Basilica while it's being built and stuff. So that was a really cool one. And getting to fuck around with Leonardo da Vinci's weapons, like his tank. And then he have like some kind of fireboat thing.
I believe so. Yeah.
Well, that might have been Revelations. I'm not sure. But
Yeah. I'm
yeah, we did get the glider, but it had like fire bombs and shit on it. Yeah, that was
Yep.
pretty fun. And just the side missions in that one were pretty good too. And the characters like
The big thing that I liked out of it was the ability to call in other assassins.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's when they introduced the I can't remember the initiates or whatever the hell they were called.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun because you can call in your homies and kick some ass. Yeah, that was a lot of fun actually. And then you can train them up to make them more experienced and stuff. So yeah, that was a fun one. It had a very weird soundtrack though. It was just very weird. It was almost like gothic horror. It was just kind of creepy and shit. The soundtrack was very just weird, but basically during that whole game, I played album from an Australian band called Bellacore. I listened to like three of their albums just because their music kind of fit the tone and stuff. So that was kind of fun. But yeah, the soundtrack in the entire series has been kind of, I don't know. Does any soundtrack stand out to you in a positive way?
Let's see. I
I mean,
wouldn't.
Assassin's
And
Creed 4, you had the pirate shanties. Those were fun.
yeah, I liked Assassin's Creed 4, and I believe I liked Assassin's Creed 3. It's been a very long time since I
God,
played that.
I don't even remember that one.
Yeah.
They had singing in Unity. That was kind of nice. Like you could run amongst the crowd and they'll start singing Les Marseillaise or whatever. That was kind of
And
cool. Kind of put you
yeah.
in the time. Well, the soundtracks were it was just kind of odd how they were used in the games because there wasn't really any running around music. Except in, I think, Brotherhood. That's why I had to listen to Bellacore. But in most of the other ones, it was always kind of quiet, which kind of helped you get into the time period and where you were because you could hear all the noises in the city and stuff.
And not to mention, the idea of the game is to be kind of quiet.
That's a good point. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, none of the soundtracks really I think were great. But I mean. Like, I think they maybe could have used better running around music, maybe. Like, imagine Oblivion or Skyrim without running around music. I mean, it would have been a completely different game.
Well, yeah, but it's a completely different game.
Yeah, but, I mean, if you just have, like, kind of cool, I don't know, music. I don't know. Maybe I'm too picky. But I mean, like doing the cutscenes and when if you're doing like a level where there's some crazy shit happening, I guess the music was sufficient, I guess. But there wasn't really a great soundtrack in any of the Assassin's Creed games, I guess. But
Well, I mean, you have to make your cuts somewhere in development. I mean, there's only so much budget to go around. I mean, I'd rather them focus on game mechanics than, you know,
yeah, and
music.
maybe I'm just spoiled because there are so many games out there that have just amazing soundtracks, like Mass Effect, the Metal Gear games, and just, all the Elder Scrolls games and stuff. So maybe I'm spoiled. But yeah, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, yeah, it was a fun one to go through. It's definitely, I think, my second favorite one. But after that, you got Assassin's Creed Revelations, which was it was okay.
To be honest, it would be it. Those two were not my favorite.
Really,
Brotherhood and Revelations, I did not really enjoy them.
really, okay.
They just seemed to drag on from the story out of two, and I mean, yeah, it offered that sense of closure, and I understand why they needed to be there. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I had a good time playing them, but they were not. It wasn't that breath of fresh air that I wanted. It wasn't that new story in a new time period. I mean, by the time I got to the end of Revelations, I was just like, ugh, get this over with.
Well, you have to remember. Well, I kind of enjoyed them because I liked Ezio, and I thought Cesare Borgia was a good villain. But then with Revelations, I was kind of feeling it by then. But you have to remember too, a weird thing was I actually went through Assassin's Creed 3 before going through those two.
See, that's probably that's probably why it was a little easier on you to make it through a bit. I went through them back to back to back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that might have been too much. Yeah, because I mean, if I did 2, Brohood, and then Revelations, yeah, I could kind of see that.
And I'm talking like within about 5 days, I just sat there and worked my way through it.
Yeah, yeah, and you have to remember too, these were coming out every single year, one after the other. So, yeah, there wasn't really any time to kind of, get over the last one. But Revelations was okay. I mean, it wasn't as good as I was hoping it was going to be. Like, one of my favorite things in the series is being able to run around different time periods and different places and really being able to enjoy that. That's kind of the only reason why I keep playing these games, is to experience something that unless somebody invents a time machine, I'm never going to be able to, experience. That's kind of why I play video games, is so that I can experience things that otherwise I'm never going to get to experience. Like, that's why I never bought Wii Sports. I'm like, I can go bowling in real life. I mean,
but you can't go virtual bowling in real life.
Well, okay.
Well, yeah, you can. You can play the fucking Wii.
Yeah, God.
Virtual bowling in real life.
Can't believe how many consoles that sold. Jesus. Even though the Wii did give birth to a really good South Park episode, I will give it that. That was quite the lame console.
A lame console.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of why I play video games, so that I can do cool shit that I can't do in real life.
You want to know why I play video games, Wolf?
Why?
Because they're fucking fun.
Well, yeah. Most of them. Some of them. The good ones.
Kinda. Sorta. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Maybe. Possibly. Yeah. Not really.
Yeah. Well. But I was really excited to do Revelations because I've always been fascinated by Constantinople, so I was really looking forward to being able to run around there and stuff. And it was cool. I mean, it's a beautiful looking city. The costumes in that game were fucking cool. Like, do you remember the Janissaries?
Yep.
The palace guards or whatever the hell. Their costumes were fucking cool, like with the masks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it was and the graphics in that one were fantastic. Like if you look at Revelations and then go and look at Brohood, it's a huge fucking jump.
Well, that's because they switched engines.
Oh, they did. Okay.
Yes. The difference between Brotherhood, because Brotherhood ran off the same engine as Assassin's Creed 2, and then they jumped it up to the next generation for, I believe, Revelations and 3.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, and I also liked Ezio's relationship with, what was her name? Sophia Solivza or whatever. You remember the chick, his girlfriend, who he ended up marrying? Yeah, I liked that a lot. That was kind of nice. And something different, They could go on dates and shit. And I also liked the collectibles in that one. Basically, you collected ancient books. So that was kind of right up my alley. But that one was okay. I think my biggest problem with that one was it was There wasn't really a villain in that one, and not until like the last like 5% of the game. So that was kind of
And then aliens.
aliens. Oh well, God, yeah, we gotta talk about that shit.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, there wasn't really a villain in that one until near the end, and so that was kind of lame. Well, you're kind of just running around with your head cut off like a chicken. It's like, what am I fucking doing here? Like, what's going on? But it ended up being okay. And I actually liked the last level. Do you remember that? You were like on your parachute strapped by a rope to a wagon with Sophia driving it, trying to chase the bad guy and shit. That was that was a pretty cool level.
Yeah, but it was just a little too over the top, you know?
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit.
A little bit, kinda. Not really. Maybe, possibly. Yeah, definitely.
It was pretty fun though. But trying to think. I was just gonna make a point. Do you want to talk about the aliens?
No.
We should have done that with the second one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. We're
See.
trying to avoid the topic of extraterrestrials.
Yeah, I don't even know what to call those fucking guys. But yeah, Revelations was okay, but the series definitely needed to go somewhere else. Oh, and I guess another cool thing about Revelations was we got to see a lot more from Altair, and for once he was not a dick, so that was kind of nice. He was kind of cool now, and it kind of would have helped though if like with his storyline, if I had played the PSP game Assassin's Creed Bloodline, I think. In that one, he actually meets his wife and they procreate and all that shit. So that would have made more sense. But yeah, that was kind of cool seeing Altair.
They create like a pro.
Well, they created a couple of sons.
They like a pro. Procreate. Bedumtus.
Yeah, yeah. And another problem I had with Revelations was that there wasn't really an ending too much. Like, I was expecting to find out, what the hell happens to Ezio, but they don't show anything. So I was like really pissed off, and I had to run around and try and find out was Ezio's fate described in one of the books or something. But then I found a Assassin's Creed mini movie, I guess you could call it, called Assassin's Creed Embers, in which they show what happens to Ezio. So that was kind of interesting. The movie's on YouTube, so you can watch it anytime you want. It was satisfying. I mean, it wasn't the best movie, but it was interesting. It was good just having closure with Ezio, so that was kind of nice. But you want to read some stupid conspiracy theories and some stupid comments, basically check out the comments on Assassin's Creed Embers. There are so many fucking theories as to how Ezio dies at the end. Did you ever watch that movie, Oompy, Assassin's Creed Embers?
No, I didn't.
Where it shows Ezio's death and stuff. You never saw that?
No.
Dude, you were never curious as to what the fuck happens to Ezio?
Well, yeah, I just didn't know it existed.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's called Assassin's Creed Embers. It's like a 20-minute movie they did. Yeah, it's worth watching. But at the end, basically, he's talking to this Templar guy who's like a 20-year-old version of Ezio, like real cocky and kind of, like talking about pussy and stuff, just that kind of guy. And then, obviously, the Templar assassinates Ezio, but everybody's like, no, Ezio just died from a heart attack. Or some people even say that young guy he was talking to was like a young version of Ezio, like he was actually talking to a young Ezio. I'm like, no, stupid. He was a Templar. You saw the cross on his van brace. I mean, it was obviously a Templar assassinating Ezio, basically continuing the circle of violence between Templars and assassins, because how did Ezio become an assassin? By killing Templars. Now this kid is becoming a Templar by killing assassins. So yeah, I would definitely recommend you to check that out if you're curious. But it was just good having closure with Ezio, because I was kind of bummed at the end of Revelations not having that ending, because they don't show what the hell happens to Ezio. So I was like, well, what the fuck? So after that, we got Assassin's Creed 3, Oompy, which was, I guess, after Assassin's Creed 2, I guess that was like my third one I went through. What did you think of Assassin's Creed 3?
It was an interesting opening.
Yes, to say the least.
I'll start with that. Let's start there.
Yeah. I have to say, right up front, I think Hatham was my favorite villain in the entire series.
Yeah, he was a pretty damn good villain.
I mean, he and Charles Lee, was it? They were
Yeah,
a pretty good villainy team or team of villains or whatever you want to call
it was kind of that. I'm a villain, eh?
it. Yeah, see, American Revolution, eh?
Yes.
Yeah,
Um,
so yeah, they were good villains. I have to say though, Connor, one of my least favorite protagonists.
well, the character development with Connor was the way his character progressed and became an assassin was kind of interesting. He was kind of forced into that position. He didn't really choose it; it chose him.
Yeah,
You know?
meeting up with Achilles.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I just thought he was kind of boring, and it wasn't really rousing fighting
Well,
the American Revolution as an Indian. You know,
it wasn't really. It wasn't over the top, and that's what I enjoyed about it.
it was
You know,
just
it
kind
was just
of go with the flow, kind of like let's see what happens.
yeah. I mean, he was there and he did a thing. I mean, it wasn't really, hey, I did a thing with an explosion in the background, and hookers.
Blackjack and hookers.
Exactly. I mean,
Well,
it was
I
just a
mean,
thing.
I just thought he was kind of boring, and I would have liked to have played as a regular old honky. I guess of that, I could have felt the American spirit and all the patriotism and stuff. But I have to say though,
You felt the Indian spirit, Wolf.
yeah, getting screwed over by the white man, that was exciting. But
It was exciting.
I have to say though, the homestead missions, though, I did enjoy those. Basically, where Connor is building his own piece of the American pie, I guess.
And that is the piece of American pie.
And it was a good
Miss
and it was a
American Pie.
good and it was a good metaphor for
Drove my Chevy to the levee.
but the levee was dry. God.
Oh god. Okay, we can cut that if you want.
Oh, we'll see.
Oh my lord.
But yeah, and it was kind of a good metaphor for the country too at the time. Like, we're just a group of people coming from all different backgrounds coming together to create a new world, basically.
And kill each other violently.
And I think that was kind of cool. And some of the levels in 3 were kind of fun, like the naval ones. That was the first one to have naval combat, I think.
Yes, it was the first one to have naval combat.
Well, aside from some of the boat levels and Revelations, but this was the first time we actually got to like control the ship and go fight in the Age of Sail and stuff.
That was the one that had naval combat first. However, that was also what sparked the idea for 4.
Yeah,
Yep.
pirates.
Because they started developing off of that, and then they're like, fuck it. It's its own game. It's kind of exactly how Assassin's Creed began in the first place. They took an idea, and then they just, like Prince of Persia, and then they developed an entirely new game off of it. Essentially, with the naval combat as a side mission, well, really, really developed side mission. They took it and made it its own thing. And that's exactly when Assassin's Creed does its best.
Yeah, when they take a good idea and run with it.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, you look at Assassin's Creed 2 and then look at the big jump to Assassin's Creed 4. I mean, that's a big jump in gameplay. I mean,
well, that was Ubisoft Montreal, which I have to admit, they're the Assassin's Creed house. I mean, if they're developing a game, I mean, it's over.
so yeah, I mean, 3 gave us a lot, but it's one of my least favorite in the series, I have to say, overall. And but I mean, it was okay. Just wasn't as good as the others, I thought. But the one that came out after it, Assassin's Creed Liberation, which takes place in New Orleans, that one's my least favorite. The main character, what the hell is her name? God, I can't remember her name. It was something the Grand Prix or whatever the fuck. I can't remember her name, but she was just not a likable character, kind of bitchy and just She could have been a very interesting character because she was mulatto or Creole. So she was half French, half African slave. So that could have been pretty cool, but in the end, it just kind of became nothing. But it was kind of cool running around New Orleans. I mean, you and I want to go there one day and check out the place. Oh, her name was Evelyn, the Grand Prix. Okay, thank you, Impy, for giving me that message.
Absolutely. You just write it down on a notepad, throw it at you. 600 miles. Just toss it over.
Yeah, overall, that was my least favorite one. It was just kind of long and boring, but it was kind of cool running around New Orleans. Impy and I have been wanting to go there for a couple of years now. We'll make it one day.
Hey, I'm making it here soon, dude.
We'll see. Maybe next year, Impy. Maybe next year.
It will be next year, actually.
But yeah, that one was just definitely my least favorite in the series. But the one that came after that, naturally, was Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag. Now, Black Flag is kind of, I don't know, would you say it's kind of controversial amongst the fan base?
What do you mean? No, not at all. It was received very well.
Well, with like the ones that like the science fiction aspect of the series. Ooh. Those are the guys who are like always wanting to find out, more about the whatever the fuck they were, like that.
I believe that was more of a minority of the fan base.
I don't know, they were kind of vocal. They're like, I want to find out more about, what were those fucking people even called, Impy? The ones that, with all the technology and stuff, like the apples of Eden and all that shit. What were they even called?
Weren't they just like precursors?
Yeah, precursors. I mean, there's so many motherfucking versions of those in video games. Like, I want to call them either Prometheans or Protheans or, Forerunners, all that shit. But, basically...
when you can't explain something in a video game, aliens.
Yeah, aliens, basically, yeah.
There you go.
God, and that ending of Assassin's Creed 3, like... I was just like, what was the whole fucking point of the science fiction thing anyway? Basically to save the Earth from a calamity, I guess, like a solar flare or something?
It was what was it? The 2012? Or...
Oh my god, did it really have something to do with the Mayan calendar and shit?
Yeah, it was the Mayan fucking calendar, dude.
Oh my god.
It played off of that to the fucking T.
Oh my god. No wonder I always hated that. Jesus Christ.
Like, oh my fucking lord.
And so with Assassin's Creed 4, they kind of stepped away from that whole thing.
For a good reason.
Yes, for a good reason, even though there's a lot of people out there who want to learn more about the precursors. And I'm like, fuck you, bitch. The only reason why I'm playing the series is to run around and experience historical places.
How about be a badass assassin? How about take a little bit of enjoyment out of that?
Well, I hate assassins, so there. No.
And yet you play the fucking series as much as I do.
Well, my style of play, Oompy. Yeah, Oompy and I we were playing Assassin's Creed Unity co-op a couple of weeks ago, and Oompy's like trying to be all stealthy and stuff, and I'm like whipping out my...
This is the one motherfucker you don't want to play Assassin's Creed with.
Yeah, I'm like running around with my pistol going bam, bam, bam.
And I'm like, and I'm sitting there sneaking around a fucking hallway with 30 guys around me. And all of a sudden I hear a bang, bang. And then everyone runs out. I'm like, motherfucker.
And Oompy sees me running around like, let's go, motherfucker. Blah! I'm like going ape shit.
And I wind up dying because of it.
Yeah, then I bring you back to life after I killed everyone.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lovely.
I'm not cut out to be an assassin, Impy.
No, you're not.
But Assassin's Creed 4, that was a fun game. It kind of got a little repetitive after about 18 hours though, but it was fun though. I mean, being a pirate was fun. Controlling your ship, upgrading your ship was fun. What was the name of the ship? The Jackdaw?
Jackdaw. You named it after a fucking bird.
Yeah, it was but man, look at it. I think people kind of underestimate how big of a jump in gameplay that was. Like, dude, you can jump off your ship and go swimming in the fucking Caribbean. Like, you remember how we get the Jackdaw? We're like on slave ships or whatever, and we're hopping from one to the other, and eventually we just get a ship. Or something.
First off, we kill an assassin.
Well, yeah, that was kind of an interesting beginning. Yeah, I mean, Edward Kenway, the main character in that, like, doesn't even become an assassin until, like, what, 70% through the game?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
He's pretty much denying it the entire time.
Yeah, he's like,
He's
fuck.
like, "Fuck you, I want to be a pirate."
Yeah, that's exactly how I would have been too. He was a pretty good character. I think I think he could have been maybe a little more. There could have been more depth to him, but he was okay. I didn't really like his sidekick too much. What was his name? Adawelu or Adawale or something. You remember him? The African slave guy.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
no, I liked him. He was pretty cool.
I thought he was there to make white people feel guilty about slavery. That was kind of my feeling with him. I'm like, yes, I get it. I don't need you here to be, talking about how shitty it was. I understand.
Well, it represented a time period, and yes, it was very shitty.
Yeah, but it was shitty
You
for
have to remember.
everybody. I mean,
Shittier for some
well,
than others.
I would have preferred being a African slave to being a Aztec slave.
Well, that's fair.
I mean,
Yeah.
It's kind of funny how the Spanish totally get a pass for all the crazy shit they did to the Mesoamericans. But to be fair, the Mesoamericans were kind of crazy. But,
Let's just say it was a bad situation all around.
yeah. And when I went through the book, and I recommend this book to anybody who enjoyed Assassin's Creed 4, the Republic of Pirates. In fact, I think the book came out like a year before the game, and the game had definitely took a lot from the book, like the characters and stuff, and the history and the stories and stuff. So I think the makers of the game definitely read the book. But it was a really good book, and in the book he talks about just how crazy it was being a pirate and being a sailor back then. Like scurvy, dude, was insane. Most people think, oh, you get scurvy, your teeth fall out. It's not just that. Basically, vitamin C, which a lack thereof causes scurvy, basically what happens is vitamin C holds your body together. So eventually, yeah, your teeth start to fall out, but like say you have a scar, eventually scurvy gets so bad that your skin will reopen at the weak point, which is the scar. And let's say you have a broken bone somewhere from like, years ago and it's healed and stuff. Eventually your bones will come apart again. So basically, eventually by the time you're dying, you're just laying in your hammock falling apart, basically.
Yeah, scurvy.
Just because you don't have an orange or a banana, basically. So yeah, being a pirate back then would have kind of sucked. But, yeah, man.
Go to a fucking palm tree. Go grab a fucking coconut.
Yeah. But yeah, the cast of characters was pretty impressive in the game.
Banana. Go plunder a barrel of bananas.
Yeah, that's basically all they needed. Well, basically, when they figured that out, that's what happened. Basically, ships had to be stocked with vitamin C rich fruits and vegetables. So they figured it out. They just, not that they knew what vitamin C was. They were just like, hey, our guys aren't dying from scurvy if they eat a lot of oranges. Process of elimination, I guess.
Yeah, here, eat a fucking banana. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Eat that damn banana.
Fucking idiot.
Yes.
But yeah, the cast of characters in Assassin's Creed 4 was pretty impressive. I mean, we get Blackbeard. He was pretty cool. And Bonnie was hot as hell with her tits hanging out. Mary Reed was kind of disturbing, especially when she revealed herself to Edward. That was a little weird, to put it lightly. Charles Vane was kind of cool, and yeah, there were just some cool pirates in that one. I would also recommend that you check out the TV series Black Sails. Me and Big Daddy are big fans of that show, and yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah, it was fun being a pirate and going around all these cities like Nassau, Havana.
Havana was fun.
Yeah, Havana was pretty cool. Where else did we get to go? Port Royal, maybe? No, Kingston.
Kingston, yep.
Because Port Royal was destroyed by an earthquake, I believe. You know what? In real life, they're actually trying to rebuild Port Royal in Jamaica.
Really?
Yeah, they're trying to get a pirate tourism trade going on because Port Royal was, a pretty big pirate center. Not as big as Nassau. I mean, Nassau was the Republic of Pirates. So,
Yep.
yeah, it was cool going to Nassau. I went on a cruise there this year, and that was really cool checking out their pirate museum and just walking around going like, wow. I mean, this is a place where Blackbeard and Anne Bonny and all these people hung out. So that was really neat. And yeah, it was just a fun game, and the side missions were pretty cool, like hunting sea life. I mean, nobody can tell me that wasn't fun hunting a great white shark and shit.
Yeah, I mean, great whites are fucking terrifying.
What else could we hunt? Like bull sharks, humpback whales, I think. Oh, the white whale, oompy.
The white whale.
Oh, she blows. Yeah, that was pretty fun.
Yar, there she blows.
And another cool thing about doing that side mission is you got to see Edward's tattoos. Those were pretty badass.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you ever get the precursor armor in that game? Basically, it made Edward bulletproof.
Well, shit.
Yeah, I can't remember what you have to do to get that. I think you had to do like the native side missions or whatever. But yeah, that was pretty cool. The bad guys in that one, I didn't really care too much about them. It was kind of cool seeing Woodes Rogers, though. They definitely did a good job on his scar because, oof. Yeah, basically, Woodes Rogers was the guy who ended piracy in the Caribbean for the British Empire. But years before, he was like a slave trader and kind of a privateer himself. And I think in the Pacific Ocean, he actually was trying to capture a Spanish ship and got shot in the face. And he didn't realize, though, for like a month that he actually had the musket ball in the roof of his mouth.
Ew.
Yeah, I guess because of the swelling being so bad. So, like, after a month, the swelling went down and he was, like, flicking his tongue around and was like, uh-oh.
Ah, shit.
So they had to, like, cut that out of his skull. Like, ah. So, yeah.
Christ. You want to talk about being a badass?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Woodes Rogers was a badass.
Here, let me just take this fucking musket ball out of my mouth.
Imagine the
Give
sound.
me a knife.
Imagine the sound that made popping out. Oof.
It's just bone cracking. Just that fucking
Yeah.
that click. That.
Oh, God. Yeah, so they did a good job in his scar. In fact, I think he's actually buried in Nassau. I forgot to go and find his grave. Oops. Guess I can do that next time. But yeah, Assassin's Creed 4 was pretty good, and the game ended with Edward going to like an opera or whatever with Haytham, a young Haytham. So that was kind of cool.
Yep.
Yeah, Haytham, like I said, was probably my favorite villain in the series. But in the book series, you actually get to learn a lot more about Haytham. Like, how the fuck did he become a Templar when his father was, wasn't he like an assassin master eventually?
Eventually.
Yeah, so the book kind of explains that. Yeah, the books look pretty good. There's a shitload of them. I think there's like 10 of them. But the cool thing about the books is that they are all written by the same guy. Unlike the game series, which is kind of, Ubisoft. Yeah, Ubisoft is usually, pretty diverse with its creative teams, like the writers.
This is a multicultural team of...
God. Okay, basically at the beginning of every Assassin's Creed game, there is a fucking disclaimer. Do you have the quote of what it says, Impy? Can you look that up real quick? And I guess while you're doing that, I'll talk about the books. Yeah, the books look pretty good. The crazy thing is, though, each book is like over 500 pages long. And to put that in perspective for you people out there who have played the Metal Gear Solid games, I've read the 3 Metal Gear Solid books, Metal Gear Solid 1, Metal Gear Solid 2, and Metal Gear Solid 4. And if you've played those games, there's a shitload of dialogue and story in those. And each one of those are like barely 300 pages. So for each Assassin's Creed book to be over 500 pages, there's a lot in there.
Okay, so getting to it, they just changed it with the new Assassin's Creed.
Well, say the original one.
Oh no, I'm sending you the new one because it's gonna piss you off.
God. Well, basically what it says was this game was developed by a multicultural team with many religious beliefs or whatever the fuck. And they said that in the very first Assassin's Creed game, and Chili was there. The first time I saw that, I flicked the screen off. And so ever since, I do that every time that pops up because that is fucking bullshit. The only reason why they fucking did that was because basically in Assassin's Creed 1, they call Jesus and Muhammad frauds. They don't do it, they don't, they're kind of sly about it, but they totally call those guys frauds. Basically, they say Jesus used the apple of Eden to make people think he was bringing people back to life and stuff.
When it was aliens.
A little more subtly, they do the same thing with Muhammad. And it is amazing how they never caught shit for that from Islam. But they totally do that, and that's why they have that disclaimer. So it always pissed me off. I mean, if you're going to call the two biggest religions in the world a crock of shit in your video game series, come out and say it. Don't hide behind that little fucking disclaimer.
Okay. Inspired by historical events and characters, this work of fiction was designed, developed, and produced by a multicultural team of various beliefs, sexual orientations, and gender identities. Whoops. Here, let's just not offend anyone ever at all.
Fucking faggots. My God, can you believe that, Oompy? What the hell does sexual orientation have to do with a fucking video game?
You don't want to offend anyone, any.
Well, I mean, they've been
out there.
Yeah, but I mean, video games have had gay and bisexual characters forever now. I mean, that kind of started in
okay, think about this for a minute.
What?
The fucked up world that we live in, okay, and how much shit people get from people who claim gender identities and sexual orientations. Sexual orientation, I can understand. Gender identities?
Yeah.
I identify as an Apache attack helicopter. Okay, I'm getting the 30mm cannon mounted to my nose next week.
Sweet.
Yeah. Fucking Christ.
I know.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
They're doing that not to catch any flack from anyone now.
I mean, I've never cared about race or sexual orientations. I mean, I mean, racial stuff I've always said is the most boring shit ever because it's not enough information for me to give a fuck about. Like, oh, I see a black guy, that means A, B, and C. No, it doesn't. And the same thing with sexual orientation. It's like, oh, you suck dick. Oh, okay. I mean, it's gay, don't get me wrong, but I don't really give a shit.
Which way you swing your bat doesn't really matter to me, okay?
As long as you hit the ball.
Exactly.
God.
I mean, like, as long as you swing the bat, you're good. Just don't swing it my way.
But don't rub it in my face.
If you're swinging it that way.
But don't rub it in my face either. I don't like that. Like in...
Wolf, wrong time to say don't rub it in my face.
Okay. Good point. But in other games like Fallout New Vegas, there was definitely a lesbian thing going on there. Like every chick in the game was a lesbian, and I was like, what the fuck? That was a bit much. But in like Mass Effect 3, like our shuttle pilot Steve Cortez, he was gay and married and stuff, and I was like, okay, that's fine. I mean, he was
good for you. Great job.
Yeah, and that made him that actually made him a good character because his husband was killed by the Reapers. So, we kind of had to console him and stuff.
Were you able to save Cortez at the end?
Were you able to fuck Cortez?
No, save him. Like.
Oh yeah, I was. Yeah, I think.
I forgot if you were able to or not.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. Remember what Vega always called him? Hey, Esteban, which is Spanish for Steven, of course. But then you get games like Dragon Age Inquisition, which they're just being ridiculous with that kind of PC shit. Like, you got a transgendered warrior. You got the gayest character ever, this mage guy in that game. And I'm like, just call it, okay? I mean, you don't have to be flaming here.
Why does the mage have to be gay?
He has a handlebar mustache and being a medieval fantasy game. Yeah. Yeah.
Are we appealing to that crowd?
Yeah, we going for a Freddie Mercury.
The weird kids in high school. I mean, the ones who like walked around in fucking trench coats, being like, "I'm gonna shoot everyone."
That
I'm
would have
like,
been funny if
fucking
they had
Christ.
handlebar mustaches.
Here, let's appeal to the steampunk crowd. Yeah.
We'll get the
No,
syndicate.
fuck you.
Yeah, we'll get the syndicate. Where are we
Yeah.
anyway?
Syndicate. Oh, don't even get me
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
I didn't
Okay.
even bother buying
We'll
it.
get there. We'll get there.
Ava bought it. My girlfriend bought it.
Uh,
I deleted it.
Deleted what?
Syndicate.
Oh God.
It was sitting on my Xbox. I was like, fuck this shit. Boom.
Before we get to what's the next one? Assassin's Creed Vogue. I want to talk about the most annoying character in video game history. You might agree with me on this one, Impy. You know the British blonde guy in the series?
Yes.
I don't
Yes.
remember his fucking name, but he is the more.
Hang on.
Oh, you're gonna look him up? It's not Bishop, is it? That might have been the chick. I'm not sure. Blonde guy, British with glasses.
I just typed in British blonde guy. Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Oh, that fuck me. Guess what came up?
What?
Edward Kenway.
Nice. He was Welsh though, not British.
Yeah. So, well, okay. So, what was the name that you thought?
I think it might have been Bishop. That might have been his name, but that might have been the chick. I'm not sure. But yeah, I hate this motherfucking character. Basically, all he does is, because he like writes on the codexes, you know, if you want to learn more about the places and people and stuff, you can read these codexes, and basically in every single one you read, he has to make a stupid fucking comment trying to be funny, and it's never fucking funny. It's always terrible, and it just takes up screen space. I just really hate this character. And then whenever he talks to you in the game, nothing but unfunny diarrhea emanates from his fucking pie hole. I hate this guy. He's smug, he's not funny, and he adds nothing to the game. Get rid of him, Ubisoft. Did you find his name yet?
Are you talking about the guy who's like in modern time?
Yeah. He's
Hang
like
on,
he's like the second guy basically. You got the chick, of course, who's like the tech wizard and stuff, and then you got him. I mean, the adoring fan in Oblivion has nothing on this guy's annoyingness. I mean, this guy I hate this guy. And he actually makes me not want to read the codexes, because I'm a history buff. Of course, I want to read the codexes and, you know, maybe learn a thing or two by playing these games. And just having to read through his shit. I should just actually skip it whenever I see his paragraph or whatever. But I just have to read it. I don't know why. Maybe I just like getting pissed off by it or something.
Maybe you do.
Yeah. Self-flagellate.
Sean Hastings.
Sean Hastings. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Of course, they
Sean.
give him a cool name like Hastings. You fucking assholes. All
You
right.
mean the guy who was sitting at the coffee shop at Black Flag?
That was a coffee shop?
Yeah, on the main floor.
Is that when we were helping that chick out? The undercover assassin chick?
The guy who was always wearing a fucking, like, sweater.
Just remember he's British, blonde, and he has glasses on.
He's not blonde, first off.
Okay, what's his hair color?
It's like a red.
Oh, bull fucking shit. You're crazy, MP. All right, let's get off this stupid character. I hate you, Sean Hastings.
No, we're doing this.
Just go to Wikipedia, look up characters from the game.
This is happening, Wolf. There you go.
Let's see. Oh my god, you're right. Why the hell did I think he was blonde? Maybe in the first one or something he was in?
Yeah, his hair color changes a couple times. He probably offended a bunch of gender identities there.
Yeah, he kind of does look like a tranny a little bit. Just a little bit. All right, the next one up and is a game you have not done yet, Moompy. And I actually just went through it a couple of months ago, Assassin's Creed Rogue. This actually, I think, came out the same day as Unity.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah, basically Assassin's Creed Rogue was supposed to be the last Assassin's Creed game on the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. And so I guess that was like their grand send-off to those to that generation of consoles. But I think it did come out the same day as Unity, basically, because it takes, well, the last level in Rogue is when Shay, the main character in Rogue, who's an Irish immigrant to America who joins the Assassins and actually gets in a argument with Achilles and goes on to destroy the entire Assassin Brotherhood in the New World. So he's the reason why when Connor shows up, Achilles is the only guy left. And so on the last mission in Rogue, you actually kill the main character in Unity, Arno. You kill his father when he's a kid, when Arno's a kid, at the Palace of Versailles. So you kind of kick off Unity by beating Rogue. Rogue was pretty fun, though. Rogue basically took as far as gameplay goes, it took the best aspects of Black Flag and 3, put them together, and, just set you loose on the world, because it has all the naval stuff from 4, except you are in the North Atlantic. And so there's a lot of icebergs and shit. And you get to hunt some unique North Atlantic fish and stuff. So that was kind of cool.
The ice whale.
And you get to hunt some narwhals and shit like that. So that was kind of cool. And then you get to run around the woods fighting the French and Indian War. So that was kind of Assassin's Creed 3-ish. So that was interesting. I think the premise for the game was kind of cool. An assassin who becomes a Templar and starts hunting down assassins. I was definitely intrigued by that because I hate assassins. So I was like, yay!
Yay, world domination.
But in practice, I thought the story was kind of thin. Like a lot of the assassin characters who were Shay's friends, I didn't really like them too much. The only one I liked was Hope because she was a hot chick. So all the other ones were like, kind of throwaway characters. So I didn't really care too much.
Which is kind of why they threw him away.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But you do get to kill Adewale in this one, who was somehow still alive, I guess.
Yeah.
Even though this is like 40 years after Black Flag. But, and you also get to work with Hatham.
Yeah?
Yeah, because he's the head of the Templars in the New World. So that was kind of interesting. And you basically get to fuck up Achilles pretty well. So that was kind of interesting. Yeah, it was a good game as far as gameplay goes. I enjoyed it, but the story I thought could have been better, but maybe because they were making a new game every fucking year, they didn't have too much time to kind of make that better. But it was a pretty good game, and it led into Unity pretty well. Thankfully, I did Rogue just like 2 months before starting Unity, so that was kind of nice. Now Unity, I just beat that like 2 weeks ago, and I have to say this is probably my third favorite Assassin's Creed game, behind only 2 and Brohood. And Oompy, I think you went through it when it came out, didn't you?
Yeah, I bought it the day it came out. Unity was interesting. Let's start with that. It was a different take on it, and it kind of brought it into that. It really brought home the next generation.
Well, yeah, because it was the first PlayStation 4, Xbox One Assassin's Creed game. But oddly enough, the gameplay harkened back more to like the Assassin's Creed 2 style because we didn't have naval combat, and the story was pretty good. The main character, Arno, I think was probably the best protagonist since Ezio. And I really enjoyed his relationship with Elise, because after Arno's father was assassinated by Shay, he was raised by Elise's father, who was a Templar. And I think he might have been the head of the Templars in Paris. But Elise's father was like a nice Templar. Like he was wasn't he like trying to make peace between the Templars and the Assassins? And that's why he was eventually betrayed and killed?
Yes.
And so after that, Elise and Arno team up to find his killers, and that kind of leads them down a rabbit hole. So that was kind of interesting. And of course, all of this is happening during the French Revolution, which was pretty cool. I mean, you get to run around Paris and see just how fucked up that whole thing was. I mean, you get to see mobs carrying severed heads on pikes. You get to see fires and the Tree Criolla, whatever the hell the French flag is called. And that's really cool. And I mean, you could be just walking down the street and all of a sudden
shit's going down.
Yeah. And then once the terror starts, that's when like thousands of people get guillotined and stuff every year. That's pretty crazy. Just seeing people getting guillotined in the streets and shit. That's definitely why mob rule sucks because of that shit.
The idea of unity was good. The execution of it kind of flopped.
With what?
It was. It went back to that same cut and paste Assassin's Creed game.
Like I said about it being more like Assassin's Creed 2. Basically, you're just running around the city doing stuff.
Exactly. It was nothing new. They didn't take it. They didn't take it and run with it. You know, they didn't have an idea and just develop it.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed running around mainly because Paris at this time was fucking amazing, and they did a great fucking job with this city, like all the detail on the buildings and stuff. Like, I'll be climbing a building and I'll be like, wow, this building's kind of pretty. You know, just all the art detail they did on that and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of development in the city itself, and I don't fault them for that. As a matter of fact, they did a really good job at developing the map and characters and all that. It's just the way the gameplay felt is what bothered me.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a great Assassin's Creed game, but it's exactly that.
Kind of same old, same old.
It's an Assassin's Creed game. I'm like, do I want to spend $70
Yeah, that's true.
or buy a special edition for $100 for the same thing I could get out of any other Assassin's Creed game that's sitting on my shelf right there?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, when I bought it, I got it on sale for like $12. So.
And if it was $60, would you have bought it?
No.
There you go.
So yeah, that's a good point. But I have to say there were some pretty good missions in it. Like I like the mission where you're having to chase Elise, who's trapped in the hot air balloon, and you're like having to run on the rooftops and shit. That was pretty good. One of the first... Oh, yeah, and doing the Rift missions were really cool because it went to different times in Paris's history, like the medieval times. You get to see the Bastille, and you get to see Paris in the 1880s when they first get the Eiffel Tower going. And then you get to go to Paris when it was occupied by the Nazis, and that was really fucking cool.
Which really didn't make a whole lot of sense from the viewpoint of...
I guess it was like a glitch in the system. That's why you got to do it. But yeah, that doesn't really make sense genetically, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you had an ancestor at each one of those events.
Yeah, that is a good point. That's probably why we didn't see that in any of the other ones.
Right.
Like imagine jumping from New York and Vogue, in New York City, and then, climbing the World Trade Center in 1998 or something. That would be kind of weird.
Exactly. I mean, like, why, how? What are the odds of that? And it's kind of just a throw me a bone to, add something new to the game.
Well, I mean...
I'm being a bit of a critic.
They are French Canadians, so there's no way in hell they could do Paris without having the Eiffel Tower show up, I think. There's just no way they could do that. Hell, you even get to climb the Statue of Liberty in one of the early Rift missions. I forgot about that.
That's fair.
In one of the first missions, there was a pretty funny part for me. Arno is chasing a carriage, and he's having a hard time with it. And he's like, "Who is this guy, Pelops?" And I'm probably the only person who got that reference. Basically, that's a Trojan War House of Atreus reference. So, because I do my Trojan Wars series, I was like, hey, I know that. I'm smart. Except on my show, I pronounce Pelops' name as Pelops. Ugh.
You look like a fucking Pelops.
Every time I remember all the ancient Greek names that I have mispronounced on my show, it just makes me, sends a shiver down my spine. There have been so many fucking names I fucked up, but yeah, that was a cool reference. But yeah, I liked Unity a lot. A lot of the side missions were really cool. Like, you get to see a lot more of the city and interact with a lot of the famous people who were alive at the time, like Madame Tussauds, Robespierre, Danton, and even a young Napoleon Bonaparte, which was really fucking cool for me because I'm a huge Napoleonic warfare buff. In fact, that's probably my favorite time period was the Napoleonic Wars. So being able to see just a couple of years before that in a video game was pretty fucking cool. So yeah, I really like Unity. It's definitely one of my favorite Assassin's Creed games. It's not a perfect game, but it's a damn good one, I think. Now, there aren't too many Assassin's Creed games I haven't played. Like, there are some for the PSP I never got to play, like Bloodline or Bloodlines or whatever. But I do own the Assassin's Creed Chronicle trilogy thing. I just haven't played them yet because I don't think they're going to be that good. The critics didn't like them too much, but they might end up being okay. I don't know. I'll get around to them next year, I think. Guess what we get to talk about now?
What?
Syndicate.
Why is this fucking thing covering my goddamn mouth?
What, my cock?
Oh, I wish. I wish, baby.
Okay, I'm going to let you talk about Assassin's Creed Syndicate because basically the only thing I've seen about it is that they have a Jack the Ripper DLC, which kind of sounds cool. And the artwork I've seen in that art book I got. The art book kind of, made it look very steampunk, so... And that's what you were kind of telling me.
Steampunk.
Yeah, that's what you were telling me. It's like...
It's very steampunk.
So, how far did you get into Syndicate?
About 5 minutes.
Really? I mean, was it...
I made it to the train, and we were riding a train. But from the get-go, it was steampunk.
Yeah. And that just wasn't giving you good vibes?
No, it was giving me shit vibes.
Well, some people might like steampunk, but I mean...
Oh, yeah, so let me just play around with my brass knuckles and a fucking cane sword.
The cane is kind of douchey, I have to say. Even though I hear tell the main characters in that one are supposed to be kind of good. I guess it was like...
No. Jacob and Evie Fry. Jacob is a hot-headed brawler specialized in close-range combat, while Evie is strong and stealth and relies on her intelligence and wit.
Ugh.
Straight from the Wikipedia.
There's that fucking disclaimer again. Hey, flick off the screen. Make it go away.
Motherfucker. And you think I'm going to sit there and play 6 hours worth of that shit?
6 hours? I mean, that's one of the reasons why I have never gone into an Assassin's Creed game excited because I always know it's going to be a kick in the nuts. It's always going to be a 20-plus hour game. There's always going to be levels that suck, like having to tail somebody for 20 minutes. And there's always going to have to be stupid collectibles that you have to find. I mean, it's always... Whenever I go into an Assassin's Creed game, I'm always like, okay, this is going to be tough, but you can do it.
That's because of the way you fucking play it.
I mean, last August, I guess August 2016, so last year, I went through Brotherhood and Revelations. And this was like a month after I got my job, so I was very busy, very tired. But I went through those games and I had fun. I liked them a lot. But man, when I listened back to my episodes, because I recorded 2 episodes for them, I haven't posted them yet. I'm going to post them soon. But when I was listening back to those episodes, dude, you could tell just from my voice, I sounded like I hated these fucking games. And it was just because I was just, I mean, it was
done.
just, yeah, I was so fucking done playing these games because I tried to get as many achievements as I could. I tried to do all the side missions and shit. So by the time I got to do the review episodes for them, I was just like, I don't want to talk about it anymore. So if you listen to my reviews, take it with a grain of salt. I did not hate these games. I was just fucking tired. But yeah, back to Syndicate. So you were just done with it?
Before I even began it, I hated it.
Yeah.
I
kind of keep going back and forth whether to buy it or not whenever it goes on sale.
Don't.
Yeah.
Don't.
Maybe if they sell
to anyone out there who wants this game, don't.
Yeah, I mean, when you told me it was steampunk, I was like, eh. But when I was going through the visual art book or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah, let's sit around here and play Batman again. Yay.
Yeah, you know what? Looking at the artwork, I was like,
Christ.
okay, this looks very unrealistic of how London was. But, I mean, that's kind of the thing I've always respected about the series is, man, they do their homework with the cities. In Assassin's Creed 1... They basically did Jerusalem exactly how it would have been in 1191. I mean, that's pretty fucking impressive. In all the other cities, they really, really worked hard to make them as accurate as possible. Like as far as geography, where the buildings were. I mean, they really did a lot of work. Hell, I mean, Paris in Assassin's Creed Unity is like, what, 4 kilometers across, give or take?
Yep.
I mean, it's huge. I mean, it's going to take you a long time to run around this city.
Not to mention the Caribbean.
Oh,
they got
yeah.
the geography fucking spot on.
Well, except for Florida.
Well,
They did that so that you couldn't land and walk around on Florida, but basically they made Florida look like a South Pacific island. They like had mountains and trees and shit. I'm like, Florida does not look like that.
Well, I mean, think about it.
They did it as a border so you couldn't, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, but you have to imagine Florida around that time period. I mean, it must have been fucking fun.
Yeah, would have been a lot of diseases and Seminoles and Spaniards.
Aren't you glad they put up that border now?
Can you imagine how nuts the fucking Everglades were?
Could you imagine, how about instead of the border, have the Seminoles just come out and shoot fucking arrows at you?
Well, you know what Seminoles use to make arrowheads a lot of the time? Shark teeth.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Plenty on along Florida's beaches.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Well, I mean, you kill a bull shark, he's probably got 80 teeth on him at least.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, a lot easier than chipping away at flint. Not that I'm an expert, but yeah, so Syndicate, I don't know if I'll ever check it out. Maybe if it's a free game or if it's $5, maybe, but I probably won't like it, but I don't know. Now, before we get to the last and newest Assassin's Creed game, did you know, Oompy, that Netflix and Ubisoft are teaming up to make a anime series?
No.
Uh-huh.
No.
They're going to do an Assassin's Creed anime series.
No.
Well,
I'm sure all the people who played Syndicate are going to love that.
Oh, God. I wonder what time period it's going to be in, but it could maybe work. I mean, Konami and Netflix has got together to do a Castlevania anime series, and that's supposed to be really good, but I don't know. It could work, maybe. As long as it's cool, but I don't know. And I guess let's talk about the Assassin's Creed movie. You're the only person I know who has seen it. What did you think about it?
It was good. I liked it.
That's
about it.
Yeah, it took place during the Spanish Inquisition, I guess.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Something like that.
I think the guy that got to play the assassin was a perfect choice, Michael Fassbender. He's a kind of a up and coming action guy. Oh, and guess who he? Goddamn. Oh, and guess who he? God, that was. Can you say and guess who he?
And guess who he?
Okay. And guess who he?
And guess who he?
And guess who he?
And guess who?
And guess who he just married, by the way?
I guess who he?
Lara Croft.
I guess who he?
You're not surprised by that at all?
Well,
it's a little fucking weird, Oompy.
You're a little fucking weird too, but I hang out with you.
The chick without boobs who's gonna play Lara Croft. Yeah, he married her. Kind of weird.
Who's that?
Alicia Vikander. She's a Danish actress who's gonna be playing Lara Croft. Yeah. Real excited about that one.
I probably just butchered her name. Yep, I googled that and got Cakes by Alicia in Decanter, Texas.
Nice. I'm pretty sure you have bigger tits than she does.
Well, and that's not saying much.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Captain Diabetes. I've been watching too much South Park: The Fractured Butthole.
Yeah. But I mean, that's kind of cool. He's a good actor, and he's a pretty good action actor too. Like he was in 300, like that was his first movie. And then he was the British guy who gets them all killed in the what was that, Inglourious Bastards?
Yeah.
Remember, he was the guy with the accent. The guy was like, where are you from?
Yeah, Inglourious Bastards. I need to see that again. That's one of my favorite movies.
And I think he played Magneto in the X-Men movies, the young Magneto. So yeah,
you look like a fucking magnet.
Yeah. He's in great shape, though. I saw this movie he was in called Centurion, and And he's like running around with his shirt off. I was like, God damn, this dude's fucking buff.
I want to look like that.
Yeah, like,
Fuck.
damn. So, yeah, he was a good choice to play an assassin, I guess. So, you like the movie? I need to check it
Yeah,
out.
the movie was really good. You need to check it out.
Okay.
Anyone out there who didn't play Syndicate, go check it out.
What does that have to do with Syndicate?
Nothing. I'm just saying.
You're just shitting on Syndicate again?
Yeah, I'm just shitting on Syndicate and anyone who played it.
All right, so, are you ready, Oompy?
Are you ready?
Actually, before we talk...
Are you ready? Are you ready to rumble? Tuesday.
All right, actually, before we talk about Origins, which takes place in ancient Egypt, or actually, not entirely sure if that counts as ancient Egypt, but let's just say it takes
place in Egypt.
Yes.
In Egypt.
During the ancient era, I guess.
Ancient era?
So I remember this article I read like 4 or 5 years ago. It was the creative director of Assassin's Creed 3. His name is Alex Hutchinson. And this really boggled my mind. And I think it explains a lot why the Assassin's Creed series was kind of after 3, or starting with 3, got a little was basically Ubisoft did a online poll, and they asked people which time period would they like to have an Assassin's Creed game take place during. And the top 3 time periods were Ancient Egypt, Feudal Japan, and World War II. Now, World War II, but Ancient Egypt and Feudal Japan, like, holy fucking shit, Impy. Can you imagine fucking Feudal Japan, dude? Running around as a ninja, killing a samurai and shit?
What was that side-scroller?
Chronicles?
Yeah.
That was China.
Yeah, well...
But that was 1500s China. So all they would have to do to explain feudal Japan was, all they would have to say is, hey, the chick from China went to Japan. Boom, done. Story solved.
There you go.
There you go. Because technically, the Japanese learned the ways of the ninja from the Chinese. It was an import from China. So there you go.
Hey, I did a thing.
So, yeah, imagine how badass that would be. You'd be climbing, like, Japanese castles and fighting samurai. Like, holy shit.
Granted, climbing the fucking pyramids is amazing.
Yes, and that too. Ancient Egypt, holy fuck. But basically, Alex Hutchinson said those were the worst ideas he's ever heard of for putting an Assassin's Creed game in. And I'm like, dude, are you insane? He hated those ideas. Like, he just thought they would be boring. I'm like, what? How would running around ancient Egypt be boring?
Okay, if you think ancient Egypt is boring, imagine sailing around in the fucking Caribbean. I mean, come on.
Yeah, like, what is this guy fucking thinking? And needless to say, he never did another Assassin's Creed game after this. He did go on to do Far Cry 4, but that was the last Ubisoft game he ever did, so... Yeah, I'm like, dude.
I'm glad he's out.
Yeah, like, how could you not want to run around ancient Egypt and feudal Japan as an assassin? Like, World War II, but...
I mean, World War II would be hell on earth trying to assassinate someone.
Yeah, like, I can't even picture that. I guess you could kind of do something like Sniper Elite, because Carl Fairburn, the main character in that series, is kind of an assassin, but, man...
Yeah...
But, guess where Alex Hutchinson wanted to run around in an Assassin's Creed game?
Russia.
India, during the time of the Raj. So that would have been, I guess, like the 1700s.
People like playing around with religion a lot.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, he's from Australia, and I think the British kind of have a boner for India for whatever reason. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
But in one of the Assassin's Creed Chronicle games, you do actually get to go to that time period and place. So, yeah. But,
well,
I mean, India could be kind of cool. Taj Mahal, fighting Rajputs and sheiks and stuff. That could be kind of cool. Elephants and stuff. But compared to feudal Japan and ancient Egypt,
you know where I want to go?
Where?
You know where I want to go? Canada. Assassin's Creed Canada. Everyone just says sorry to one another.
So or I'm sorry, sink. The one word that Canadians mispronounce that tells me that they are Canadian is the word about. They say about.
It's a boot.
About.
I'm wearing a boot.
So where you going, about? I'm like,
what's this about?
I mean, they can sound totally American, but once they say about.
No. I'm not even fucking kidding you. Okay. No, you know what? You're bullshitting on that because I've heard a Canadian say a boot. And it's not a boot, it's a bit.
It's about. Thank you very much. About, not boot.
I'm going to get a bit. I wonder how they pronounce a boot.
A boot? Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, I'm going to get a boot. I'm about to get a boot.
God. But,
why are we dogging on Canadians? I'm sorry, Canada.
Yeah. Well, you do get to go to Canada in Assassin's Creed Rogue.
Canada. How about Cambodia?
Yeah, Cambodia. Yeah, let's go to Cambodia in 1970s.
Dude, that'd be dope. That'd be fucking dope.
Yeah, let's go assassinate some children with plastic bags because there aren't enough bullets to go around. Jesus.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's what they were doing, though.
Assassin's Creed Vietnam.
Assassin's Creed Killing Fields.
Dude, actually, Vietnam would be pretty dope.
That would be crazy.
Woods.
I mean, there was a lot of assassinations going on. Like, hell, the one that kind of kicked off the war was the assassination. Well, that was a coup d'etat of, what was his name? Dieppe? Diem. Diem, yeah. I always get Giap and Diem confused. But, all right. Last Assassin's Creed game. Assassin's Creed Origin. Some said this game could never happen. Alex Hutchinson. And here we are. So what do you think, Oompy?
Well...
Because you're the only one who's played it, so far.
Okay. The game so far is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got about 6 hours. I wouldn't say 6 hours. I'd say about 3 hours into it. I believe it's set around 50 BC.
Yeah.
Here, let me take a look. 49 BC.
49? Okay.
Yay, I was right.
So, because Julius Caesar, Cleopatra, and all that. Yeah, I was actually really excited about this one just because of the trailers and the time period and, where it's taking place. I was like, okay, this could be really good. And then the trailers made it look really, really fucking good. And then when I found out Julius Caesar and Cleopatra were going to be in it, I was like, okay. Then it was just a question of, were there going to be glitches? Like, what happened with Unity when that came out? Like, oh my god.
So, starting with that, okay, the trailer is definitely a lot better than the actual game itself.
Oh, really?
Okay.
I hate it when that happens.
However, the game is pretty damn good. I'd have to say it's the most ambitious take on Assassin's Creed yet.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, the visuals are fucking insane,
yeah.
Dude. I mean, like, the landscapes, especially in 4K, I mean, it's game over, okay? I mean, like, you see that shit, the sun rays and, like, the god rays and all that, and it's good.
How's the main character? I mean, anything going on there?
Honorable and brutal.
Yeah.
However, there is a reason behind it. Very, very honorable, brutal, but humble in a way. If that's
different. That's pretty different.
Yeah, he's human. Mm-hmm. It's not like I'm some badass. It's like I have a job to do because of this reason, and I can't fail because of this reason. So I'm doing it, and it's gonna be done.
Yeah. Is his wife hot?
Everyone in the game thinks so.
Sweet. What? You don't think she's hot?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
But no, it's a running thing so far.
Should I roll 34 her ass?
Yeah.
Well, because remember, that's one of the things I'm most excited about with the game was as soon as I saw
You'd be more interested in Cleopatra.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen some pictures about her. Well, that's one of the things I'm most excited about with the game was when I saw the rating for it. It said nudity. I was like, okay, we're doing this.
Well, when they say nudity, I haven't seen anything thus far.
Well, I mean, the Egyptians were kind of open with that, like especially like their dancers and shit. I mean, they were basically wearing see-through linen and see-through silk and stuff. So.
Well, Cleopatra is about wearing cloth. I mean, that's about it.
Yeah, once I found out what time period it was going to be in, because I didn't know exactly when, because I mean, this could have been ancient Egypt. But when they picked, Julius Caesar and Cleopatra, I was like, okay, because that's actually a really crazy time, because there's a lot of crazy shit going on. Because basically, what happened was ancient Egypt was conquered by the Persians in like the 500s BC. And then Alexander the Great came in like 330 BC and conquered them,
Oh,
became
I
pharaoh.
found his grave.
Oh shit, dude! I was gonna ask you, because
Yep,
that's got to be
I found his burial spot.
was his sarcophagus there in his body?
I can't. I don't know. I haven't explored it yet, but it's right outside Cleopatra's like villa.
Okay, because that was like
Well, the palace.
one of the big questions I had for like side missions or whatever.
Yeah,
Because basically
he's buried in Alexandria.
yeah, because basically we don't know what happened to his body. So I was wondering if that was going to be a side mission or whatever, finding Alexander's body. I mean, my God, if you found Alexander's body in real life, holy fucking shit, dude.
Well, yeah. I mean, the odds of you actually finding that in real life, it's gone.
Yeah, unfortunately, unless they reburied him somewhere.
Well, that's true.
I mean, they're not just gonna dump his body in the streets. I mean, Jesus. At least I hope not.
And they could have. You don't fucking know.
I mean, Alexander the Great was like the guy in that time period, and he still is. I mean, he's gotta be still in the top 10 most famous people who ever lived.
Okay. So here's something interesting about Assassin's Creed. Um, the the pyramids in Giza,
Uh huh.
right? Well, they added in an extra chamber into the Great Pyramid.
Uh huh.
Okay. So they added an extra chamber into the Great Pyramid. Well, turns out that there actually is an extra chamber.
Yeah. Then they do like an
they
X-ray or some kind
Yeah,
of
they did a scan of the actual pyramids here recently, within I
like
believe a month.
yeah, like just a
Like,
couple of weeks ago.
yeah, and they found an extra chamber. However, this game has been in development for years now, so they accurately predicted an extra chamber in the Great Pyramids in Giza.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
That's pretty cool. But that happens a lot, dude. Like in the Jurassic Park movie, the velociraptors are like 2 times bigger than the real life raptors would have been. But after the movie came out, they kind of found a dinosaur that would have looked like them. So
Yep,
that shit happens, man. But
I know.
yeah, I'm really excited to check this one out. I think this is going to be maybe, hopefully, the game of the year this year. I don't
Oh,
know.
I believe it. I mean, they have completely reworked the game mechanics as far as the running system and the fighting. It's a lot more, I would say, realistic.
Uh huh.
And the leveling actually kind of puts you in your place if you don't, pay attention to it.
Yeah, how's the leveling? Because that kind of bugged me in Unity. Because with all the other Assassin's Creed games, I'm used to just having my way with bitches, basically.
No, 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 no. Basically, it plays like an RPG. If you level up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and yeah, I don't know what it caps at, but you could go up to a guy who's level 12 and you're level 9 and he'll fucking kill you. Like no, like I'm talking 2 fucking hits
Oof.
and you're dead. Especially if it's like a boss, like
Yeah.
if it's a captain or if it's an assassination target. If you go after him and you try to swing on him, even if you try to assassinate him, you maybe will get him down to half health.
Oh shit!
And-
Then he just stands
and-
back up and like, "Let's go, motherfucker."
Yeah, he'll throw you off of him, and then beat you over the head with a club. Okay, and when I say beat you over the head with a club, I'm talking a spike club, and it will stick into your head,
Oof.
and you will become bloody. And he'll beat you with it about 4 times.
God. How violent is the game? Is it like
Very.
very okay?
I'm talking like drowning someone in the steam bath.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm talking like beating someone to death with what I guess, what looks to be the apple of Eden.
Oh
And
shit!
like clubbing him in the head 14 times until there's nothing left of his skull.
Damn, it's like some God of War shit there.
Yeah, like we're talking like we're out for blood.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm kind of hoping this one's kind of like I don't know. I guess a cross between Assassin's Creed and The Witcher. Like I want it to be like an RPG, very violent. I want the combat system to be tough, but kind of intuitive and kind of fun too. I don't want it to be like full on Dark Souls.
We're talking more. We're not blocking. We're not parrying. We're dodging.
Okay.
When someone swings a sword at you, you get the fuck out of the way,
Yeah.
and then you come back and you swing on them.
Yeah.
The game forces you to be an assassin. The game, I mean, it's more of if you get into a direct fight with someone, it's because you fucked up.
Well, I'm raising my hand right now.
Okay, but however, I relied a lot on my bow. Okay, they have 3 different kinds of bows: a hunter bow, a warrior bow, and a light bow. The light bow is a kind of a repeater style. It's like, you're holding 5 arrows in your hand, and you fire each one off in quick succession. To do light damage against someone.
Yeah, I have to
The
say
hun-
the 5 arrows at once is a little silly. That kind of reminds me of the poster from Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Well, that's the warrior bow. The warrior bow, I mean, it's like spread damage kind of deal. You're shooting just to hit something somewhere somehow.
And then
And
whip
if
out
you're-
your sword and go to work.
Right. I mean, if you're at close range, it's really effective. If you're at long range, you're kind of, But normally that's my go-to if I'm trying to if I'm caught and I'm like, get the fuck out of here real quick. You know, just pull it out, shoot as best as I can at something, and then book it. But the hunter bow is your standard one shot, one hit.
Yeah.
But to upgrade your stuff, like your gauntlets and whatnot, you actually have to hunt animals.
Okay. So yeah, that's basically how you did it in the Far Cry games,
Yeah.
which were made by Ubisoft. So yeah.
I mean, they took the best from what they could get their hands on. By the way, I have visited the pyramids, and you can go inside them.
Ooh. Sweet.
And they actually have you're actually hunting for like sarcophaguses and whatnot.
Oh, so you're maybe the tomb robber who took all the good stuff?
Well, not robbing. I mean, like you're not a grave robber.
Okay.
However, you can kind of rob their grave, but it's more of a puzzle based kind of Lara Croft kind of deal.
Oh,
just
okay.
exploring.
That sounds cool. Because
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
I always thought that was like Lara Croft's place was ancient Egypt. Like that was her best setting, I guess. I always really liked that. And Indiana Jones too, kind of too. Like there's just something about ancient Egypt that says archaeology.
That's the exact feel that I got. Was kind of like I'm fucking like Indiana Jones. They're running around a tomb.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of the feel of it.
Yeah, I can't wait to check this game out. I'm probably going to wait a couple of months until the Game of the Year edition comes out and just buy
You
that.
shouldn't.
I know, but I don't know. I did get an email from Ubisoft. They were wanting me to buy the super duper collection version, whatever the hell you want to call it.
Collector's version.
The super
The
duper.
edition.
Yeah, the edition. Super duper fuck you edition or whatever.
I plated it in good.
Which, played it in gold. They might as well have it. It cost $800. Came with like a giant statue of the main character, and I guess that was about it, other than all the gold edition stuff. But yeah, it looks like an awesome game, and I'll definitely get around to it sometime. I'm definitely in a ancient Egypt mood because I, like a month ago, went through a really, really good book called The Nile. The author basically took a trip up the Nile on a boat and just talked about all the famous places you see along the Nile. Talked about what happened back in the day, what happened 200 years ago, and what's happening there now. And it was a really interesting book, and it kind of spoke to my soul, almost like wow, I need to go there or something. So pretty good timing for this game to come out. And he also told some pretty scary stories about what's been going on to the monuments and stuff. Like, Oompy, in 20 years, there might be a gas station next to the Sphinx because Cairo is getting so crowded.
That's insane.
Yeah, like, oh my God. And he talked about how the first archaeologists discovered all the entrances into the Great Pyramid. And guess how he opened those?
With a hammer.
Dynamite.
Yay!
Like, oh my God.
Like here, let me.
Oh,
see
and
this fucking-
he didn't just do it to one pyramid. He did it to all the pyramids at Giza.
Oh my lord!
And he took a giant drill and drilled holes into the Sphinx, trying to find an entrance into that. So if you go to the Sphinx now, it has giant holes in it.
They never thought to patch those.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, the Egyptians don't really seem to care too much about their monuments and stuff, which sucks. But guys back in the 1800s, I mean, they didn't really care too much either, I
They
guess.
didn't care about anything.
Yeah, let me just, blow up some holes in the fucking
Yeah, fuck it.
only remaining wonder from the ancient world. Yeah.
That's stupid.
To be fair, though, I mean, how are you going to get inside, I guess?
Very carefully.
Yeah, just like chip away at a 2-ton block for a couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, fuck it. I mean, if you want it to be intact.
Yeah. But I mean, I think if I want to go and see Egypt and its monuments, I probably should get there pretty fast because shit's getting kind of crazy over there.
Yeah, I agree.
But I
thought
mean, Egypt's always been kind of crazy, as you will see in this game. And this really is a crazy time period because you got a lot of Greek influences because Egypt's ruled by the Ptolemy dynasty, and Ptolemy was a general of Alexander the Great. He basically, after Alexander died, the empire was split up and Ptolemy got Egypt. And I think Cleopatra is like his great granddaughter 12 times or whatever. So, yeah. And so you got a lot of Greek stuff. Hell, I think you're going to get to see some Corinthian helmets. Yay. And then...
Isn't it... Okay, yeah. It's Ptolemy the 8th rule right now? Yeah, because it's Cleopatra's younger brother.
Yeah. And who she's supposed to marry and stuff. And I think she's like Cleopatra the 9th or something. Like, she's not the first and only Cleopatra.
Right.
Well,
But
I mean...
she is the Cleopatra.
Yeah. I mean, that's like Alexander. I think Alexander was Alexander the Third, but you add great to it. He becomes the Alexander. You basically have the combination of ancient Greek mixing with ancient Egyptian cultures and warfare. And now you have Julius Caesar and the Romans coming in. So it's definitely a fascinating mixture of the three great civilizations of the ancient world. So that's a perfect time period for this game, I think. So
Agreed.
yeah, I mean, that's it, people. I mean, this is a pretty interesting series. I can't really say I love the series, but I will continue to play the series just because I love the historical stuff with it. And the gameplay is pretty fun. I mean, being able to climb famous monuments and fighting guys and, I mean, it's stuff that we can only dream of doing, basically. I mean, they're not going to let us climb Les Invalides or run around Boston in the 1700s. I mean, we're just not going to get to do that. I think we can still climb the Great Pyramid, though.
Yeah.
One way to find out, I guess, Mr. Oompy.
I mean, go for it.
The cool thing is, though,
I'll
you can I'm going to take my...
You can go in it. Yes.
I'm gonna climb it, and I'm gonna take my shoes off as a show of respect, and I'm gonna climb it. Supposedly, on top of the Great Pyramid, there are a bunch of writings or graffiti from soldiers from way back in the day. Like you can go up there and read graffiti from Australian soldiers from World War I who were stationed there, and you can read graffiti from French soldiers from when Napoleon was there. Just people left their mark everywhere around there. So that would be kind of cool. Maybe we should chisel in WDY was here.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
WDY.
Well, that's kind of how they know where Vikings were, basically, because wherever Vikings went, they did graffiti. Like they went to Constantinople to be mercenaries, and they basically chiseled runes all over monuments and stuff. I guess nobody had a problem, or they just didn't want to fuck with Vikings, I guess. So like
The
there were
time
these statues of Byzantine lions, and they're just covered in runes, I guess. So that's kind of funny.
that time I almost got arrested for climbing the Great Pyramid.
That would be a little scary, Egyptian prison.
Huh.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean this is a very important series to me and to the world. I mean, like I said, it's one of the highest selling video game franchises of all time, and I have to say, hopefully, this has inspired a lot of people to get into history. I mean, I haven't really learned a lot from this series, historically speaking, but I have experienced a lot by playing these games, so that's kind of worth it to me. But hopefully for like kids like my nephew's ages, I guess, hopefully that kind of generation can get into history because of these games. But, you know, I guess kind of like how maybe Minecraft has inspired kids to get into architecture and, you know, being creative and stuff. Because, I mean, video games do have that power. I mean, hell, I got into Samurai originally because of the video game Keshin and the movie The Last Samurai, of course. And I got into Napoleonic Warfare because of Waterloo, Napoleon's last battle. And, you know, the only reason why I know about the Warring States period in China was because of the Dynasty Warrior games. You know, that's the only reason why I know anything about that. So yeah, video games definitely have the ability to inspire and teach and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully at the end of the day, at least, I hope Assassin's Creed video games have done that. Instead of just, you know, being a very good money-making machine for Ubisoft, hopefully it's also kind of changed the world for good, I guess. So what are your final remarks, Mr. Poompy? Boobs.
Boobs.
Yum, 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 yum.
Yeah. I want to climb the Great Pyramid. You know, it's actually illegal to climb the Great Pyramid.
Oh, you looked it up?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was doing. It's illegal to climb. However, an 18-year-old German tourist did it, and he got caught by the police when he reached the bottom. Apparently, it only takes like 8 minutes to climb it.
Oh, man. It's only 400 feet.
The bricks are actually really small.
Really? They look kind of fucking tall, like 4 feet or so.
No, like really tiny, like hand size.
Maybe if we climbed it at night.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the problem, though, because the city's getting closer and closer. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, apparently it takes 8 minutes to climb up, 20 minutes to climb down.
Yeah, climbing down would suck ass. Catch me!
Fucking hell.
There's nothing on this. That's the fucking thing. That's why I enjoy playing the Assassin's Creed games, because you're free to do shit. You're free to go places. You're free to kill people. You're free to kick ass. You're free to climb shit, you know?
There you go.
It's freedom. Like, there's no way in hell I'm going to fly 5,000 motherfucking miles all the way to fucking Egypt and see the Great Pyramid and not climb it. Like, fuck you. I'm going to climb this thing.
Dude, that thing's steep.
I know. I'm sure it'd be a bitch from hell, but fuck. I mean, dude.
I'd be afraid to fall.
Oh, yeah, man.
Fucking hell. There's probably a reason why you can't climb it.
Well, that was probably that asshole Zari Hawass. He probably came up with that. But, I mean, I don't want to cause any damage to the pyramid. I mean, that's why I would take my shoes off. I would be extremely respectful and careful.
You do not want to take your shoes off.
Why, is it jagged?
Yeah. Like, the rocks are actually really porous.
Well, I guess like 4,500 years of erosion.
Yeah, but dude, that looks fucking terrifying.
Well, you have any final remarks, Mr. Poompy?
Fuck Syndicate. That's about all I have to say.
Nice, it'd be nice. Well,
and if they ever make a game like that again, I will fucking throw away my collection.
Yeah, let's just hope the next one is feudal Japan and you get to play as Hattori Hanzo or somebody cool like that. Well, remember, we would get guns in that one too, because during the...
No.
Well, that's the thing about if we do feudal Japan, if we do the 1500s, I mean, that's the Shingoku Jidai time period. That's the Warring States period. So there's like hundreds of thousands of samurai fighting each other. I mean, this was like the biggest war in Japan's history until World War II. So, I mean, there would be a lot of shit going on that we could take part in. So, yeah. We'll see what happens.
Yep. Anywho, let's end it.
Yep. Take it easy, people.
Absolutely.
Assassin's Creed, motherfucker. That was me falling off the pyramid.